Hi, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, back here in the most office-looking bunker of all time at the Absolute Music Centre where we are based. I've borrowed this space because we've had some really cool things come in the last few weeks and I haven't been able to feature them because you lovely people keep visiting us and I cannot get through a take without the phone ringing or something happening, and I'm not complaining. Who would have it any other way? Anyway, today you've seen the thumbnail, so you know that we're here to talk about Ohana USA custom ukuleles. Back in January, we visited California and the Long Beach facility for Ohana, met Brad, the luthier there, and he talked us through how and why and when and which designs he likes, what he is doing, and we became very, very big fans before that. But after the NAMM show, particularly when we came back with the puzzle ukulele, the one with the whale baritones, and I placed some orders for some ukuleles based on what our previous favorites have been. And they're here now, so we're going to look at 6 Ohana USA customs today. We've got some concerts, tenors, and a baritone. Let's begin. First up today, let's take a look at the DC-KOA. I believe this is the dealer concert Koa. Either way, it's a really lovely shaped Ohana style concert. So Ohana use a very traditional shape. It's a bit curvier than your average concert. Some concerts can almost look a little bit squared off compared to a tenor, but the Ohana custom concerts have a bit more of a mini tenor shape to them with a nice elongated upper bout. It's a really lovely piece of Hawaiian Koa on this ukulele for the top, back and side. You've got some really lovely figured Koa with front and back ebony and abalone binding. So you've got ebony front binding on the back and really lovely abalone that pops here for the front all the way around, including the abalone rosette. So it's not your traditional stylo ukulele like you might think. This is a real blinged out high-end concert uke, which is something quite rare at this price. You have an ebony fingerboard and bridge going up to the Ohana custom headstock there with Goto tuners on the back. The body is high gloss, the neck is satin, has a nice lived in feel to it, and it has quite a nice slim neck profile with a slightly wider nut width, which to my surprise I actually measured up at 38mm, so the neck is kind of more of a modern style Hawaiian uke than maybe you might expect from Ohana. It has a pin bridge and these come in a hard case, which is fantastic when you consider it's the same price as a new kanile'a concert or a new Koa concert or a Kahabka concert, you know, so it's up there in price with the Hawaiian K brands, offering you a slight alternative to something made in Hawaii. These are made in Long Beach, California by a single luthier, so I think the price in itself really does go a long way in giving you good value for money on something like this. Let's give the DC-KOA a play and see what you think. Next up today, let's take a look at the DCP-KOA. In case you haven't guessed already, the P stands for pineapple. It's the same model as the DC-KOA we were just looking at, but in a pineapple shape. I love that it's very similar to the early Kahabka pineapple shapes. It's not completely round, it has a kind of oval shape to it, if that makes any sense. I'm probably getting the wrong word there, but you know what I'm trying to say. The shape's very cool. Concert pineapple, the idea behind the pineapple shape is it gives you a thicker, bigger sound. So, you know, a concert pineapple is a concert that should sound like a tenor. We'll find that out in a moment, won't we? And the rest of the spec on these is the same. We actually have 2 of these on this delivery. You have a Hawaiian Koa body, really nice selected Hawaiian Koa for the body on these. In fact, actually, do you know, oh, this is stunning. I mean, really beautiful piece of wood. You have the pin bridge with the abalone inlays there for the trim and for the rosette there around it. An ebony fingerboard going up to the Ohana headstock, once again with that OC logo, and the Goto tuners. These come in a hard case as well and compete very nicely against the equivalent ukulele from Kahabka, Koa, kanile'a. I'm fully on board with the Ohana custom shop in the US. I think some of the most prized ukuleles we've had in stock the last 2 years have come from this workshop in Long Beach, California. Let's give the DCP-KOA a play and see what you think. Oh, these two together, the DC-KOA and the DCP. This has loads more presence on the C, but I just find this one slightly more comfortable to hold. This one is very petite by comparison. For what that's worth, Next up today, let's move on to a tenor. This is the first tenor of 3 we have for you today. This is a DT-KOA Hummingbird. Now this shows more of Brad the luthier's inlay work in-house. This has a gorgeous hummingbird inlay going up the fingerboard that I'll show you on the B-roll there. Absolutely stunning with the purple flowers all the way up to the top and inlaid in the head plate of the ukulele. Beautiful. The back has an ebony heel cap, which I really like, that kind of contrasting wood thing. Oh, beautiful. Still got those Goto tuners on there. It has a 38mm nut width. This one is more tricked out, more blinged out than the DC-KOA we just looked at. You have abalone going up the fingerboard here to the rosette, and then front abalone binding with the ebony on the sides and on the back. The back of this ukulele is stunning. You know, earlier on today I filmed a video on coast ukuleles and talked about Kawai's choice of woods and just how premium some of these woods are. Ohana must have one of the best collections of wood, like Koa stock, out there of anyone at the moment, because they don't make a ukulele that looks like less than a 10 out of 10. You know, some of the other companies out there are producing, you know, very straight grained plain Koa ukuleles, and that's great because they sound fantastic. But if you want something really extrovert and striking, Ohana have some of the best choice out there right now. Really beautiful ukulele. This ukulele, I believe, was made for a show, and we've taken it on after the show. The price is reflected in that. It's still a premium priced ukulele up against something like a kanile'a, ilakai, or a pahaku. Has a pin bridge and has an LR Bags 5.0 pickup fitted, which is a very premium priced pickup. It's like the MySci that we stock, but has a CR2032 battery. There's a little panel for that inside the ukulele, very easy to change if you need a pickup. But the core of it is, if you want a very premium ukulele you can plug into an amplifier, this has everything you need straight away right out of the hard case. Let's give this a play and see what you think. God, this shoe likes being in the light, doesn't it? Look at that. Whoa. I'd like to look at these next two ukuleles together because I think a lot of people out there looking for this kind of thing are going to be A-Bing them, and it makes sense if we just play them back to back at the end of this talking segment. So we've got here two Ohana dealer customs made of very, very American woods, the kind of woods that you want a custom-built luthier uke to be made of. So far we've seen a lot of Hawaiian Koa, and that's gorgeous, but some people out there want something a bit more contemporary, something that's not seen on other high-end ukuleles, and this is a great place to start. We'll go for one of these first. We've had one previously. This is, let me remember the code, this is a DT-RCW, and this has redwood, so American redwood top, very similar to cedar with more of a striking visual look to it, with claro walnut back and sides. So walnut and redwood together is a bit like having cedar and ebony or cedar and rosewood together. It's got lots of expression. It's a very complex sounding ukulele. You've got lots of highs and lots of lows. When you play it, you can play with a lot of dynamics. A really open sounding uke. Then the other one, with lighter wood top, has a Port Orford cedar top, which actually isn't a cedar. Port Orford cedar is a different kind of wood, very more similar, I guess, to spruce, with Oregon myrtle back and sides, so another American wood combination there. I like this ukulele because it reminds me of Breedlove. When I first got into guitars as a teenager, the new kid on the block, the new brand that everyone was talking about was Breedlove, and Breedlove was West Coast based guitar company. They still exist, they're still in Oregon, and they would use woods that were uncommon, in the same way that in the guitar world right now a lot of people associate the wood sapele with Taylor. Early on in the 90s, early 2000s, Breedlove were the place to go for an alternative wood guitar, and I love seeing these woods paired up on ukuleles. I think they match up really, really well. Oregon myrtle, the back and sides here, has a similar look to maple. I find it very absorbent. It takes a lot of the really squeaky nasally frequencies away, and the Port Orford cedar has a kind of, I like to call it like a tough cedar kind of approach to it. Although it's not strictly cedar, it does respond very similar to spruce. It responds like a lot of soft woods do, very projecting and loud and clean, a very clean sounding ukulele. The rest of the trim on these ukuleles is the same. They have these side mounted dots, which we see on a few ukuleles in recent years, like the Caribou Lights and a lot of flight ukuleles. They've both got matching head plates there to each other. So you've got an Oregon myrtle head plate for this one, and a redwood, and a claro walnut one for this ukulele. They both have these geared tuners, a satin finish to the neck with a nice neck, like a nice flat point on the back of the neck, a thin neck profile with a 38mm nut width on both of these. The body is gloss, the neck is satin. They just feel lived in and loved from new. Let's give the DT-RCW and the DT-PMT a play and see what you think. Spoiler alert, this one sounds absolutely bloody fantastic. Undeniably one of the best tonewood combinations ever, that redwood and Clara walnut. Absolutely stunning. Okay, right. I just spent a lot of time with both of these, on and off camera. This one has more bass, so the redwood one is bassier. That low G is very prominent in the mix when you strum. When you pick and you leave it out and then add it, it adds so much depth. The overall volume of this is higher than on the Koa ukuleles, but it's not really loud like a classical guitar, kind of snappy loud, whereas this one has less of that presence on the bass. It's much more balanced between the low G and the C string, but has bundles of attack. So I guess if you're a solo player playing just for yourself, the redwood and Clara walnut is going to give you more overall kind of tonal options, whereas if you play in a band or you play with other people or you like to play classical pieces of music or fingerstyle pieces, this is an incredibly balanced, almost piano-like machine. Hope that helps. The last ukulele we're going to look at today is an Ohana DB-K2. This is one of my favourites in the Ohana USA range. This ukulele is all solid Hawaiian Koa. It's a baritone with an absolutely stunning rosette, eye-watering rosette. The really lovely wood doesn't detract away from it in any way, and the rosette doesn't detract away from the lovely wood in any way. It's not over the top at all, but the more you look at this ukulele, the more depth you will find. Quite literally, this ukulele has one of the deepest bodies of a ukulele I've ever seen. It's almost guitar-like. It's crazy. There's not a baritone out there like this, because the scale length on Ohana baritones is 19 inches. That's the measurement from here to here. So this ukulele could be strung GCEA quite happily. It would work really nicely. It would resonate and it would ring well and it would feel right. But the body on this is bigger than the average baritone. This is a full inch deeper than a kanile'a body. And the ukulele itself just feels like a small guitar. It reminds me of a Baby Taylor travel guitar. The wood is stunning. The thickness, the depth, the tone, the character of this ukulele is gorgeous and very unique. And I love things that are unique. It's so nice to be able to talk about something and know that there's not anything else out there right now like this, you know? You've got white mother of pearl dots, quite simple dots here with an ebony fingerboard and bridge. It's a really nice big bridge on this. If you think I've got like quite big hands, the span of the bridge is very wide. You've got a satin neck with the high gloss body going up to those Goto tuners that Brad loves. And I like the headstock on this one as well. I'm too close because you have the ebony head plate with Koa head plate and the Ohana mother of pearl logo. I think that someone out there is going to be extremely happy when they see this for the first time. Let's give the DB-K2 a play and see what you think. I'm sorry I'm in this office, folks. I do like being in the shop. I think the shop adds something to the videos and to the content. I hope you're still with me. Looked at some really lovely ukuleles today. I think you can tell my favourite was that DBK2, but I'm also really partial to that Redwood and Claro walnut tenor. But what did you think? I think there's a lot of people out there looking for high-end concerts right now, and I'm really glad that Ohana are catering to that audience, because Ohana have always made, in their Far East range, some of the best sopranos and concerts at any price. So seeing a custom shop single luthier built instrument that actually in the grand scheme of things is relatively affordable for something made in the USA, it's a sight to behold. It's lovely to see. But I'd love to know what you think. Do let us know in the comments section. If you have any questions, there are links to all of these ukuleles with their full spec in the description, or you can email the store alex@ukulele.co.uk. I will be back very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.